Hello financial investors and welcome to the channel. My name is Brent and today is the 26th of May 2020. We are in the final week of May going into June with just 6 months ahead of us for 2020. Who knows what will, partake in the remainder of 2020. It's really sort of, unknown what is going to happen in the future. So what we're going to be doing in today's video is currently look at stock futures which are positive by over 2%. So we're going to go ahead and cover a little bit of why the stock market is up over 2% here in the after hours. Then we're going to go ahead and jump over into the M1 Finance account, take a look at the performance for last week, what stocks were up, what stocks were down, also dive into the activity. Did we get paid out any dividends? Which stocks paid out dividends? And where are we going to be investing our capital this week? So if you are brand new to my channel, I would really appreciate if you go down below, subscribe to the channel if you're interested in finance, stock market, dividend videos. Also, if you enjoyed this video, find it helpful, entertaining, give it a thumbs up. If you have any issues or would like to see other things covered in some videos or in these videos going forward, drop it into the comment section below. I do read and reply to all your comments, and let's go ahead and get into the video. So stock futures, what is going on right now to put the S&P up nearly 2%, the Dow Jones over 2.14, and the NASDAQ up 2.03. Well, overseas right now, stock market is very positive as overseas has started to open up, and the United States economy has also begun to kind of open up now here. In the last few weeks, we've seen a return of small mid-cap businesses reopening, and also overseas, just more businesses around the world are beginning to reopen in their phase one opening, so taking steps towards reopening. So here's a little bit of what is currently going on overseas. Investors are moving from last week's sharp losses on Friday, and it had one of the worst days in nearly 5 years, and now we're moving a little bit positive in the markets overseas. Now I do not see the England and Germany markets are open yet. I believe they open just a little bit later. I'm actually recording a little bit earlier today than I normally do. It's not even midnight yet, and it's I believe these ones open around midnight because I know Germany is about 8 or 9 hours ahead. Hong Kong's currently open. It is up 2.23%. So just a lot of positive going on out there with the reopening of the overseas economies, and also here within the United States, it's just a lot of reopening optimism that is going on not only overseas but also within the United States, where the lockdowns are no longer active. A lot of cities, especially my city here this weekend, was crazy. We had Memorial Weekend, and a lot of individuals were out at the lakes, at the coast, out in the forest. I live in a pretty sunny area here in Southern Oregon, so definitely a lot of activity going on out there in the world. Now, jumping over into M1 Finance and take a look at the portfolio. Overall, the portfolio is positive by roughly 5.24%, and we're still down as far as market gains go, but our dividends continue to chug higher, and it's going faster and faster from where we had started initially till we are at now. Our portfolio now generates roughly $1,000 in dividends, and the first year it had only generated, I believe, maybe $200, $300 in dividends. I'd have to go back and check. The second year, it generated around $500 in dividends, or somewhere around there, and now we're over $1,000 in dividends. We've earned over $1,147 of dividends, and this metric here is just going to continue to grow at a faster, quicker pace, where eventually the earned dividends will really help outset the market loss. And even if we do trend sideways for a while, if the market overall breaks down and falls further, or if we just stay in a lower depressive state for say 2 to 5 years, guess what happens with those companies that are continuing to pay out dividends? Say their revenue, their net income stays flat over a 2 to 5 year period, but they're able to consistently keep their dividend. Maybe they grow their revenue just a little bit, 2%, and they're able to raise their dividend just slightly by anywhere from 2 to 8%. That's still a yearly increase. Those dividends are buying back more shares at, say, a cheaper price, and you're also getting a dividend increase on a yearly basis. So your dividends are compounding in themselves at a discounted price. They're increasing year after year, so you're able to buy much more shares in a sort of lowered market, depressed market, than if it was just constantly moving positive as it has been over the last few years. So during this time, your portfolio is going to be allowed to compound those dividends at a much faster rate if we continue to stay suppressed here in the short term. And you'll see you're able to buy back more shares with these dividends. So that's kind of the area there. Now, as far as the 1 week performance, we had pretty good performance last week, up 3.84%. I don't know what the markets were up last week. I know I did my stock market recap of the week, but overall, we can see the S&P 500 was about flat for the week, up 0.05. The Dow Jones was up negative 0.54%. And the NASDAQ last week, let's take a look at the NASDAQ last week, was positive about 0.97%. So overall, in a 1 week change, our portfolio was up roughly 3.86%. Some of that from dividends, roughly, I believe that was Walgreens and some other companies. We sat through some ex-dividend dates, so we made around $51.61 that have not been paid out to us yet. We've also made some market gains of $763. Now, what sort of stocks out there made this happen? Well, our top 3 performers, Stanley Black & Decker up 12.66%, WP Carey, one of those real estate investment trusts, up 11.46%, Cardinal Health up 9.48%, and we have many others. Cisco was one that I was buying pretty heavy in these last few weeks as they had been beat up here in the short term. Well, it looks like they're popping back up. Also 3M popping back up, and a nice amount of companies here. Lowe's recently beat their earnings this past week, so they're positive here on the week. Now, if we go down towards our negative positions, in a week performance, we only have 2, 4, 6 positions in the negative. So that is why the portfolio is so positive this week. You have Kellogg's, Johnson & Johnson, and Lancaster Colony. So look at these companies here that are negative. Kellogg's is one of those consumer staples. Johnson & Johnson's one of those healthcare companies that has been invested in pretty heavily these last few months with what has currently been going on with the economy. Walmart, they've had such crazy investors buying into their company recently, but they're just having a bit of a pullback here within the last week. Plus, I believe they recently missed their earnings. I covered it in my weekly recap. I believe they did miss their earnings on Walmart. I would have to relook that one up, but I believe they just kind of missed. They just kind of slipped down for the week around 1.28%. So really, not too bad. A lot of these companies already have quite a bit of equity in them. They're pretty heavily invested outside of Lancaster. If this one goes negative in the portfolio, that could be an opportunity to add a little bit of equity to that one. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the performance this past week, seeing some of my companies that I've been buying up recently averaging down on, such as Eaton Vance, such as Cisco Corporation, Genuine Parts. They're beginning to pop back positive with the reopening of the economy. Now, as far as dividends that were paid out last week, last week we had the dates from the 18th of May till the 22nd. So if we start right here, we did 2 buys last week. We bought Walgreens, which went ex-dividend on my birthday, the 19th of May, and we had 3M that was purchased last week. This week, Walgreens and 3M were pretty positive, I believe. Let's see here. So I know I saw 3M here up towards the top. What's that? Overall, yeah, that's overall. 3M is still down overall, roughly 20.13%, but that is fine. Let's see, there's Walgreens, 4.13%, and 3M was up here towards the top when we switch it like this, 7.51%. So they're definitely doing some bounce back. Now, as far as the dividends that were paid out last week, we had Caterpillar paying out $5.73. So we added $50.23. We're depositing $50.23 on a weekly basis for the remainder of the 32 or 31 weeks left in 2020. That allows us to consistently dollar cost average into the market on a weekly basis, allowing us to reinvest our dividends for the prior week and also add brand new capital into the portfolio. By doing this, I only go into the portfolio on a weekly basis. When I do these videos, that's probably the first time that I really look at my portfolio, see how the performance has been, and then make a decision on what stocks I need to buy more of because maybe they were beat up here in the short term, and I get a opportunity to average down on positions. Now tomorrow, the stock market overall is going to be up around 2% starting, so we may see a bit of a taper off in the afternoon, but overall in the morning, it may not make sense to buy, but I always just enjoy buying on Monday and just kind of letting it ride for the remainder of the week because we do not know what is actually going to happen. Okay, from this point, we're going to go ahead and jump into the spreadsheet. Now, on the spreadsheet, we can see right off the bat, we had one company that raised their dividend. This was Cardinal Health. They increased it by roughly 2 cents, so not a whole lot, but it's still dividend growth. Now, we are entering June, so we're going to be focusing on companies that go ex-dividend in June. Now, of these, Altria is up at the top. I'm not really interested in Altria at the time being. It does have around $1,000 of equity currently invested in it. Las Vegas Sands currently cut their dividend, has a cost basis of around $400, but it's not a whole lot. I'm going to go ahead and let it ride out, and it did cut its dividend, so I'm no longer making any dividend income from that specific company. Genuine Parts is going ex-dividend here in June. It's actually going to be going ex-dividend on June 4th, so that is just 8 days away. Next, we have UGI Corporation. This is a utility company. They are also negative, going ex-dividend this month. They are going ex-dividend on the 12th of June, so just 16 days away. So this could be an opportunity to invest in these ones when both of these right here are down roughly 12 or 14%. So by buying these into the negative, I'm lowering my unit cost, I'm increasing my yield on cost. So that's kind of interesting. WP Carry is down just slightly of 0.51%. By tomorrow on Tuesday, when the market's up over 2%, we could see this one moving positive. So I'm going to go ahead and hold off on investing in WP Carry, even though it is going ex-dividend towards the end of the month on the 27th of June 2020. Now, the other company here, we have Avery Dennison. This is not on my list of companies that I want to average down on. The reason for this is because this one has only been growing and paying out dividends for the past 9 years. So I am sort of hammering it because it doesn't have that dividend growth, and it could be a little bit less stable than some of the other ones that have had longer dividend history during downturns. Lancaster does have 57 years of dividend growth. It is down almost 8% and has a very low equity cost basis, and it is on my watch list or buy list of $650 that I want to continue averaging down on it, and it is currently negative in the portfolio. So Lancaster here, it is down 7.89%, and Lancaster goes ex-dividend on the 8th of June, which is just 12 days away. So right off the bat, we have 4 companies that I am interested in right off the bat. We have Stanley Black & Decker going ex-dividend in 5 days, Genuine Parts going ex-dividend in 8 days, Lancaster going ex-dividend in 12, and UGI going ex-dividend in 16. Now, this past week, we did see UGI actually pull back just slightly. I thought I did. Maybe I didn't. Maybe. Oh, it was positive by 7.12%. So maybe this past week, I'd have to look at their earnings again, but maybe they have a bit of a cool-off period. With 16 days until they ex-dividend, maybe I have a better opportunity in this company in the future. So maybe I'll just kind of wait a little bit on Lancaster. On UGI, I mean, Lancaster is going ex-dividend in 12 days. So we have this week of the 26th of May. We also have next week on the 1st of June. And then we have the following week, which is the 8th of June before this one go. Oh, no, it goes ex-dividend on the 8th. So I'd have to buy it this week or next week in order for the ex-dividend. So I'll leave that one on the board because I do want to average more into that one. Genuine Parts, this one goes ex-dividend on the 4th of June, so just 8 days away, and Stanley Black & Decker. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take, let's see, taking a look here. I only have $50 to average down with, so not a whole lot there. But I can see I want to add more into UGI. Well, UGI is, oh no, it's right there on my list. It is on my list of companies that I want to average down on. Stanley Black & Decker is right there with companies I want to average down on. Lancaster is right there. And Stanley, Genuine Parts. Is Genuine Parts even on there? Oh yeah, right there. So all 4 of my companies are there, but I am going to be holding off on UGI. I'm only going to be invested in currently into Stanley Black & Decker. So I'm going to go ahead and choose Stanley Black & Decker. Boy, $55.96 split into 3 companies is not very much. It's $18.65. So not a whole lot is going to be going into these companies, but we're going to go ahead and make this work. So I'm going to go ahead and confirm. And go back into the main portfolio, type in GPC, select Genuine Parts, buy, sell, and go ahead and paste that in there, confirm that buy. And then the final company here that we're planning to buy is Lancaster, ticker symbol LANC. Did I type that one incorrectly? Because it's not. Oh, all those balances. Select that, buy, sell, and go ahead and paste the remainder of 1866 in there. So we have nothing else available for order. All of our capital is going to be invested in here on Tuesday, and that is going to be that. Okay, so those are the 3 companies that we're planning to buy this week. Stanley Black & Decker going ex-dividend in just 5 days. We have Genuine Parts going ex-dividend in 8 days. So I still have next week. See, next week is the 1st of June, so I really have next week to begin. I don't have any more weeks here to begin investing in Stanley Black & Decker. Let's see, Stanley Black & Decker is, where are you? Right there, negative 12.45%. No, I don't know if I want to just average all into it at this time, but we'll leave that one out for now. So Stanley Black & Decker, this is the last week I have to really invest into this one because next week is the 1st of June, so I won't be able to add more on the ex-dividend date. We also have Genuine Parts going ex-dividend on the 4th, so that's next week as well. And we have Lancaster, which is just the following Monday. So I'll have next week to invest in Lancaster, and then I'll have that one go ex-dividend. So those are the 3 companies that I'm planning to buy this week. What companies are you planning to buy this week? And I'm always interested in seeing how others are investing their capital during this time. Are you holding off on averaging into this market, or are you continuing to buy more companies during this time? So that is going to be it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy this video, definitely give this video a thumbs up. If you guys are brand new to the channel, have not yet subscribed, I would really appreciate it if you do subscribe to the channel. I discuss stock market, dividends, and cover the portfolio and other stock market news. So subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you have any comments or questions, or let me know what stocks you're planning on buying, or just want to say hello, drop it into the comment section. And I do read and reply to all your comments. And thanks for tuning in. I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.